Explosions! Today, I have a spell that would make Mr. Torg proud. What's up, YouTube? Zero here. And today, I have the legendary spell Dynamo in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. In this video, I'll go through the overview of the Dynamo that I'm using. Then I'll get into some more gameplay, and I'll talk about where you can get Dynamo if you're looking to grind for this spell. I'll go into the uniqueness of the Dynamo, and then at the end of the video, I'll get into Fate or Hate. Is this spell fated to be in your hand while you're going through your chaos runs, or should you toss it out and just find another spell to use? Without further ado, let's get into the overview of the Dynamo. Now first, my Dynamo is going to just be Dynamo. This is an Arcane spell. Mine does 905 damage, 5% chance to crit, 14.3 second cooldown. Now, this deals fire damage. It's 617 damage per second with a 6% chance. It's enchanted. While action skill is active, increase dark magic damage by 50%. This coincides really well with my Graveborn build. Boom lay boom! If you know that, that's from a Shine Down song, Diamond Eyes. Mine has plus 20% spell damage, 3 spell charges, highly effective against flesh. You have to hold and release to cast. And the perk of Dynamo fires a bundle of TNT, which releases into more TNT. So you can see I'll hold and cast to release the first barrel, and then it splits into 5 more barrels. It has a little bit of an arcing motion, so you can't fire directly at enemies if they are far away. You have to aim up into the sky and rain down your TNT on an enemy or groups of enemies. It doesn't track, so again, you're going to have to aim pretty well to see your Dynamo hit the enemy or enemies that you want to hit. But having 3 charges is really nice for a spell, because you can cast it multiple times, dealing massive amounts of damage to enemies. So having that TNT dynamite damage, especially on the higher chaos levels, can be pretty good. We have 3 charges, we have tons of groups of enemies, and we can hit them with a lot of TNT that bounces up into the air and comes down on enemies. But again, it doesn't track, so make sure you're hitting those group of enemies, and you have to aim just right or you may miss your enemy. Now, if you are looking to grind for the Dynamo, this is going to be a world drop. It was released with the first DLC for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So the normal base game of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands did not have Dynamo. It was released with the first DLC. And it's going to be a world drop, so you're going to have to get a little lucky for the Dynamo if you do want to get it. It only comes with fire damage, so if you do get one, it's going to have fire damage, which is nice. Of course, that's highly effective against flesh. So it does have that uniqueness, the niceness of a spell. You fire TNT that explodes into the 5 dynamite. But is this worth having as your main spell if you're any class that isn't a spell shot? Or is this worth having as one of your 2 spells if you are a spell shot who likes to dual wield spells? On the higher chaos levels, you're going to be dealing with a lot of enemies. So it's nice to be able to fire Dynamo into a crowd. However, having to hold and release can take a little away when you're trying to move quickly in those hordes of enemies. Again, on the higher chaoses, you're going to be facing a lot of enemies. You're not necessarily always going to have the time to aim your spell correctly. Sometimes it's nice to just be able to cast and release extremely quickly. Just fire and forget, as opposed to holding in and firing. Now, yes, it can deal a lot of damage to hordes or big bosses, but because you have to hold to release and you have to aim, it doesn't track. I'm going to throw this away and say I'm putting it in my bank and not using it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more Tiny Tina's content. Till next time, peace.